Let's get right into it. Number 1. Clowns. Why? Though there's no chapter in the book of human survival that says, beware of the squeaky-shoed, balloon animal-making guy with face paint. And yet, an uncomfortable number of people would rather wrestle a hungry raccoon than sit in the front row of a clown show. The fear of clowns technically coulrophobia doesn't really make sense, because clowns are just humans who look like they were rejected from an early draft of The Purge. Psychologists argue that the uncanny makeup is what does it. The exaggerated smile looks like it's stapled to their face, and your brain goes, nope, not normal, something's off, run. That's a pretty weird evolutionary alarm system, because in nature, there's no animal that paints on fake eyebrows and honks a rubber nose, unless you count the proboscis monkey, but they don't juggle. The clown fear also snowballs thanks to horror movies Pennywise. Anyone which basically taught an entire generation that under every storm drain is a demon in size 23 shoes. So the irrational terror lives on, even though the deadliest thing a clown has ever wielded in real life is probably too much seltzer waters. Punchline. Your ancestors survived saber-toothed tigers, plagues, and famine, but you're sweating because someone made balloon dogs at your nephew's birthday party. Nice work. Evolution. Number 2. Fear of holes. Yes, really. There's actually a word for this one trypophobia. It's the fear of clusters of tiny holes, think honeycombs, lotus seed pods, or, for some reason, those pockmarked cleaning sponges. People describe it as instant skin-crawling disgust. And it's baffling, because last time I checked, no one ever got eaten by a donut. One theory says it's a leftover survival instinct against parasites and diseases, since certain skin infections cause hole-like textures, so maybe it's your brain screaming, a gross stay away, but does it need to go nuclear mode just because you walked past a beehive? Bees are scary, sure, but the architecture isn't plotting against you. Others think it's about visual overstimulation. The repeated pattern freaks out your nervous system like a broken strobe light. Still, that doesn't explain why some people gag when they see a strawberry up close. A fruit. Strawberries were literally cultivated by humans to be delicious, not horrifying. And here's the kicker, there's no actual survival advantage in panicking at bathroom tiles. You won't dodge predators, you won't find more food, you'll just look weird explaining why you screamed at a pancake with too many bubbles in it. Punchline. If evolution really cared, it would have warned us about Taco Bell at 2-8, not about a perfectly innocent lotus pod. Number 3. Mirrors after dark. Ah yes, the terrifying object that reflects yourself. For some reason, plenty of people get spooked looking into a mirror at night. Is it because they expect Bloody Mary to jump scare them like a bad YouTube challenge, or because no one looks attractive under dim bathroom lighting? Either way, evolution dropped the ball here. Fear of mirrors at night might trace back to folklore. Many cultures believed mirrors were portals for spirits. Others say it's about low light messing with your perception. Your brain sees your reflection move slightly out of sync and decides, welp, guess I'm possessed now. Neuroscientists call this the strange face illusion, where staring long enough at your reflection makes your features distort, which, honestly, is way worse than a ghost. But let's be real, no one in the wild needed to fear reflective surfaces. Cavemen weren't like, hold up, ugh, don't drink from pond. Evil twin lives there. If anything, reflections could have helped with grooming, or at least to check if you had berry juice on your face before hunting. Punchline evolution gave us night vision for survival, but instead we're using it to freak ourselves out in the bathroom at 3 a.m. over our own cheekbones. Number 4. Escalators of doom. Modern invention, ancient panic. Escalators are just moving stairs, literally the laziest way to get from floor A to floor B, but plenty of people approach them like it's the final boss level of Mario. The fear ranges from, I might trip to this thing is going to swallow me whole like a mechanical sarlacc pit. Evolution has zero stake here. Our ancestors did not evolve around escalators unless there's a missing chapter in anthropology about cave malls. At worst, the escalator fear is just your lizard brain misfiring. The jerky movement, the weird angles, the loud grinding noise, your body thinks it's about to step onto the tongue of a giant predator. And then there's the urban legend fuel. People love telling stories about shoelaces getting caught or someone disappearing into the abyss of the comb plate. In reality, you're more likely to stub your toe or get trapped in an awkward small talk situation on an escalator than actually be devoured by one. But still, the fear is persistent because your brain would rather imagine Final Destination than accept that it's just glorified moving stairs. Punchline evolution taught us to fear cliffs, lions, and fire. But in 2025, apparently, the greatest threat is a shopping mall escalator. Darwin would be thrilled. Number 5, dolls that stare back. You know what's weird? We invented dolls for kids, tiny, harmless toys, and then somehow turned them into the poster children for demonic possession. Thanks, Hollywood. But really, why do so many people hate being in the same room as porcelain dolls? Psychologists chalk this up to the uncanny valley effect. Dolls are human-like, but not quite human enough. Their glassy eyes are too still, their smiles are frozen in time, and they sit there looking like they know how you're going to die. It's not rational. Your ancestors weren't chased across the savannah by packs of Victorian dolls wielding butter knives, but your brain still raises alarms like you just made eye contact with a malfunctioning android. Folklore doesn't help either. There are endless stories of cursed dolls, Robert the Doll in Key West, Annabelle in every horror franchise ever, and those creepy ventriloquist dummies that always look like they've got unfinished business. From an evolutionary standpoint, dolls are a total non-threat. They don't bite, they don't sting, they don't chase you. They just sit there, silently judging. And maybe that's worse, because at least you can outrun a bear. Punchline: if you're ever attacked by a doll, congratulations. You've just discovered a brand new branch of natural selection. Number 6, the deep ocean terror. Here's a fun fact: you're more likely to get hit by a falling vending machine than attacked by a giant squid. And yet, the idea of deep, dark water makes most people freeze up like a Windows 98 computer. The ocean is objectively terrifying. Sure, it's huge, it's dark, and it's home to creatures that look like rejected Pokemon. But for most of us, it's not a daily survival issue. Evolutionarily, humans aren't deep-sea divers. Our ancestors barely made it past waist-deep fishing. So why does the thought of what lurks under the surface make us feel like we're starring in Jaws 12: Aquatic Revenge? Some psychologists argue it's about the unknown. The human brain despises not knowing what's down there. Mix in low visibility, lack of control, and the possibility of brushing up against something slimy, and boom, instant panic. The funny thing, sharks, the classic fear, aren't even that interested in humans. Statistically, seashells injure more people annually than sharks do, but that doesn't matter. Our brains turn a casual swim into a guaranteed something's going to drag me to Atlantis scenario. Punchline evolution gave us land legs, not fins, and yet, instead of just respecting our boundaries, we invent vacations where we voluntarily dunk ourselves into nightmare soup. Number 7, fear of the dark. Darkness is the original free trial of horror. You flip off the lights, and suddenly your brain's IMDb loads every horror movie you've ever seen. That coat on the chair, definitely a serial killer. The creak of the house settling, absolutely a demon auditioning for a Netflix special. Now, fear of the dark kind of makes evolutionary sense. Predators did come out at night. But here's the kicker in modern life. The most dangerous thing lurking in the dark is probably an uncharged Roomba. We live in a world where our refrigerators glow at us at 2 a.m. And yet, millions of adults still sprint to bed like Olympic athletes the second the light goes off. Psychologists say it's not the darkness itself, but the uncertainty it creates. Your brain loves filling in gaps with worst-case scenarios. Basically, your imagination becomes a B-grade horror director with an unlimited budget. That's why a random shadow in your hallway can feel scarier than an actual burglar. Punchline: we have door locks, street lamps, and motion sensors, but apparently, the human brain is still running Windows Caveman Edition. Number 8, elevators to vertical coffins. Let's talk elevators. In theory, it's just a moving box that saves you from hiking stairs, but for some reason, humans treat elevators like the set piece for a psychological thriller. There's the claustrophobia, the awkward silence, the unspoken fear that the cables will snap and you'll get to experience gravity the hard way. Evolution never prepared us for this. Early humans weren't riding elevators unless you count falling into sinkholes, yet here we are, nervously watching floor numbers tick up like it's a countdown to doom. Statistically, elevators are absurdly safe. You're more likely to choke on popcorn than plummet in one. But logic doesn't stand a chance when the doors close and your brain whispers, "This is how Final Destination starts." Add in the social nightmare of standing 2 inches from strangers while pretending you're not breathing too loudly, and elevators become less of a tool and more of a stress chamber. Which makes sense, humans didn't evolve for enclosed metal boxes with music. We evolved for wide open spaces and the occasional bear chase. Punchline evolution taught us to run from predators. Elevators just taught us to stare at the floor numbers and reconsider every life choice. Number 9. Mannequins of pure evil. Mannequins because, apparently, dolls weren't creepy enough. You walk into a store, and suddenly you're surrounded by headless torsos or blank-eyed plastic humans frozen mid-stride. Nothing says buy more jeans like feeling stalked by a silent army of Forever 21 models. This fear is another Uncanny Valley masterpiece. Mannequins look almost real until you notice their soulless stare or the way their plastic hands are permanently stuck in jazz hands mode. Some people genuinely avoid entire clothing sections because mannequins feel like they're one lightning strike away from coming to life. But from an evolutionary perspective, zero threat. No caveman ever muttered, "Careful, grog. Plastic tribe lurks in cave." The only danger mannequins pose is giving you unrealistic body expectations or making you feel like you've walked into a discount horror set. Punchline evolution gifted us fear of predators. Retail gifted us fear of a discount torso wearing last season's denim jacket. Number 10. Butterflies, but make it terrifying. Here's a fun one. Some people are absolutely terrified of butterflies. Yes, butterflies, the soft, winged emojis of the natural world. Creatures so delicate that their entire defense strategy is basically look pretty and hope no one notices. And yet, there are folks who see one flapping toward them and immediately channel their inner Usain Bolt. Why psychologists suggest it's the unpredictable movement. Butterflies don't fly in straight lines, they zig, zag, loop-de-loop like drunk pilots. That unpredictability can trigger your "something's coming at my face" reflex. But really, the worst case scenario is a wing brushing against your cheek. Oh no, airborne glitter. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes no sense. Butterflies don't bite, don't sting, don't even buzz annoyingly like mosquitoes. The only thing remotely dangerous about them is if you're allergic to pollen and they're carrying microscopic amounts on their little legs. Yet, somehow, they end up in the same nope category as wasps and clowns. Punchline. Your ancestors fought off saber-toothed cats, and you're out here screaming at a bug that lives on flower juice. Congratulations, you've officially broken Darwin's algorithm. Number 11. Fear of phone calls. Ah yes, the modern apex predator and incoming call. Not a lion, not a venomous snake, just your phone lighting up with unknown number. Suddenly, your palms sweat, your heart races, and you'd rather fake your own death than answer. Evolution has nothing to do with this. Our ancestors didn't develop survival instincts against Nokia ringtones. The fear of phone calls is more about social anxiety and the unpredictability of live conversation. Texting gives you time to think, edit, delete, and pretend you're busy. Calls nope, it's improv theater, and you're terrible at it. There's also the modern association of calls with bad news. Think about it. Your friends text you memes. Your dentist calls you about that overdue cleaning. Which one feels scarier? Exactly. So while evolution fine-tuned us to survive spears, famine, and hostile tribes, it forgot to prepare us for, "Hi, is this the account holder?" And now here we are, grown adults, diving under the blanket every time Verizon decides to check in. Punchline. If natural selection still applied, the first humans to screen calls would already be running this planet. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.